Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Got to make this video again. I just got done making a great video, and then the phone just went black on me. My camera shut off, and I realized I never even pushed record. So I'm pretty sure I pushed record this time, and let's try this again. Let's do a Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, right? Let's do a Wednesday study group for warriors. I'll pick up on my notes where I left off. You guys should be studying every day. It's part of the Mind, Body, and Soul program. So let's get into it. When a postmodernist says everything is subjective and there is no truth, agree with them. And then don't believe a word they say. All you're doing is following their own philosophy, using their philosophy against them. They think there's no truth. Then everything they say is not true. If they think everything is subjective, then everything a postmodernist, everything a liberal says is just complete nonsense bullshit that's only meant for their ears. Just agree with them, walk away. Here's the next one. Is death simply a medical problem? Like, can science solve death someday? Meaning it's just a medical problem. We can cure death. At some point we can, right? We'll go down the line of every single little disease, every single ailment, and be able to have a cure for it. Turning death into just simply a medical problem. With the creation of nanotechnology, which already exists, but they're getting better at it. These nanobots, little tiny robots will be able to put into your bloodstream. The new nanobots are not even made out of foreign materials. They make nanobots now out of your own cartilage, your own materials, so it won't be a foreign object inside of you. And these nanobots will be able to control your insulin levels, control all kinds of things, be able to take a sick person and heal them, possibly even extend your life for hundreds of years to where we can almost be immortal. What about with AI? And you'll be able to download your consciousness into a computer. This is what Elon Musk is working on. So, is death just a medical problem to science? They're trying to solve it. They're just trying to play God, right? To live forever. Or is death a spiritual journey that's part of our existence? What would happen if you lived forever? Is death necessary? You have to die. Every single living thing dies for a reason. Why? Think about death now before your deathbed. Don't make your deathbed be the first time you contemplate your own death. Let's move on to the next one. So I've been studying a lot of science lately. Quantum physics, astrophysics, astronomy, these types of things. The James Webb Telescope is pretty amazing, and it's debunking the Big Bang Theory, but let's talk about the Big Bang Theory for a second. It's interesting, to me at least, that the Big Bang and the story of creation. So the Big Bang is everything that we see, everything that we experience, even ourselves, the planet Earth, the moon, the stars, the nothingness in between it, everything was created in the Big Bang. A single point exploded and created the everything. Everything came from nothing, is the story of the Big Bang. That's the Big Bang. Well, the story of creation is the same, right? Isn't that the same? First there was nothing, and then there was everything. God created everything out of nothing. It's the same story. It's funny how the scientists and religious people fight over the same story. The something from nothing idea. And they fight over it. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. You guys are saying the same thing, aren't you? But what is nothingness? If something came from nothing, what is nothingness? Nothingness is a concept in spirituality that's easier to understand. Because zero, in science, nothingness is quantified. So Nothingness, according to the scientist, is really a quantum vacuum. It's a state of being that they can quantify, nothingness. Zero is still a number. But both, this idea of nothingness is tied in with an aspect of blind faith. Because you can't see nothing. The nothingness is a theory. And this is why I find quantum physics interesting, because it talks about little tiny things, and we realize that there really isn't anything, there's no place in the world where there is nothing. Nothingness is hard to find. There's always something there. There's always something tiny in the nothing. It gets confusing. Let's move on to the next one. I learned this in the ghetto. Bad neighborhoods are only bad because of an extreme minority of lawbreakers. It's true. I've lived around lots of ghettos, not just one. I did a tour of the most terrible neighborhoods in America and lived in each one of them. I didn't just visit with some YouTube camera like an influencer. Oh, look at the crap and look at the shantytown. No, I lived there, joined the gang, committed crimes. I did a tour of the bad neighborhoods, became an integral part of the fabric of each one of them. And I noticed very clearly in every bad neighborhood I've ever been to, ever seen, ever heard about, that the crime that exists is always by an extreme minority of people, of lawbreakers, of shitheads. So you go to South Central Los Angeles, the vast majority of people in South Central Los Angeles, I mean, it's a big area, but the vast majority of people down there, when I lived there, are good, hard-working people. That may surprise you. 99% of them, I would say, honestly. They're hard-working people that just go to work every day like you do. They're no different. They're just a little bit poorer. And then there's this tiny, tiny, tiny little minority that's broken up into all the various little gangs. You go to one block and there's 12 guys on one block and they're ruining a whole neighborhood. 12 guys on one block can destroy a neighborhood full of thousands of people. Utterly, utterly destroy it. So the threat to humanity is always by a few, not by the masses. The masses aren't the problem, it's the few that are the problem. You want to save the world? Go and look for the bugs hiding behind your refrigerator. There's only a few bad apples around us. We need to root them out. Let's go to the next one. You ever say, I'll see it to believe it? We have sight as our main sense of experience, and we think that if I can see it, I'll believe it. I won't believe it until I see it. You ever say that? I'm sure we all have said that. Well, what about AI? AI can create art, can create video, can create these deep fakes that are pretty convincing. So if you have to see it to believe it, what about AI? AI can trick your sight. What about holograms? Holograms are getting pretty good. Look into it. Holographic technology is getting pretty good, and there's talk of, at least at some point, where your television could be a hologram just on your coffee table or on the wall, and looking on the wall could be looking out your window. Holograms are not real. And you say you have to see it to believe it. We can put a hologram. They're talking about how if we do have an alien invasion, it might just be a hologram. It might not even be real. It might be a trick. There's Photoshop. We all know about Photoshop. You have to see it to believe it. What about Photoshop? My brother's excellent at Photoshop. He can create a picture from nothing, and you think it's real. Oh, that's a beautiful California sunset. That's no place. That's a fake place that he just created. What about CGI? You watch all kinds of videos. You think you're watching the truth. You say, oh, I saw it on video. How do you know what you're seeing is true? You watch the news. You see footage. How do you know what's what? You're watching war footage of Israel or Ukraine or whatever, rooting for one side, you don't really know. You're not there. You don't know what you're watching. It could all be fake. I'm just saying, it could all be fake. You have virtual reality. You have to see it to believe it. I got to see it to believe it, Sky. Well, what about virtual reality? That shit's getting awfully good. Dreams. Dreams feel real. You can see in your dreams. You can have a whole world that you experience in your dreams. It's not real. It's fake. What about hallucinations? You got to see it to believe it, don't you? Let's go to the next one. If you're looking for a reason to live, find something that you'll die for. You may have heard that before, but I've always liked that quote. A lot of people don't really have any reason to live. They feel rather lost. If you're feeling lost, go find something that is important to you. It might be sitting right next to you. The reason to live might be your cat. Why won't you kill yourself today? Why not? Might be a good day to kill yourself. Well, maybe that cat is a reason. The cat needs food. Maybe that dog that you have is a good reason not to kill yourself today. It's because that dog needs companionship, needs you. It doesn't just need someone to take care of it, it needs you to take care of it. You're in a relationship. That little creature loves the shit out of you. Look at the way it stares at you. So you may have to find something that you'll die for, something that you care about. My dog isn't around anymore. He lived to about 18 years old, which is old for a pit bull, but I would die for my dog. I protect that dog with my life. If you fucked with my dog, oh my God. You're gonna see a version of me that you wish you never saw. I'm gonna traumatize you for life. I'm gonna put you in therapy for life. You fuck with my dog. You'll be crying in that therapist's office with PTSD, shaking and trembling at the thought of me if you fuck with my dog. And that love for my dog has kept me from putting a gun in my mouth many nights. I see that gun on the table, and I look over at that dog, and I realize, all right, that little motherfucker needs me. Find something that you'll die for, and you'll find your reason to live. Food for thought.